today. Um, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about recognizing parents and caregivers through intersectionality programming. So, a little bit about myself. As I mentioned, my name's Allegra. I'm originally from New York. I moved up to Boston about 15 years ago, and I've worked at Citizens for the past 10 years. And my current role is corporate giving operations manager. So that's my day job. But when I'm not doing my day job, I'm volunteering. I'm also the chair of the Caring for Citizens BRG, which I'm going to talk about a little bit today. And I'm spending time with my beautiful family, who's also kind of part of today's discussion. And you can see them in the picture. Dylan is 4, Jack is 12, and then my fabulous husband. So I mentioned that Dylan is 4. And so if we take a little bit of a step back, 4 means that I found out that I was pregnant with Dylan in February of 2020. So literally right before the world shut down because of COVID, that's when I found out I was pregnant with my second. And when I think back to that time, I think about what a scary, uncertain time it was for everybody, but particularly for working parents and caregivers. We were concerned about not just taking care of ourselves and our health, but also for those who are loved ones, those who were we responsible taking care of. And when I reflect back on that period too, one of the things I'll always remember was the way that people came together in a way that maybe they hadn't talked about their work and their life kind of colliding. The work-life balance, that line that you see that separates the two, completely erased, right? And all of a sudden you're seeing your kid running through the background of your Zoom videos, or your older loved ones that are just saying, hey, what are you doing? And they're part of your meetings inadvertently, right? And I wanted to find a way for us to continue to build on that momentum. How colleagues were really very openly talking about how they were adapting to the new normal, supporting each other, and really being there to talk to each other and saying, hey, I see you. You're a working parent, you're a caregiver. These two are not completely separate from each other. And I went to our folks internally. I said, I would love to create a business resource group that is entirely focused on supporting working parents and caregivers. And what came out of it is Caring for Citizens, which is just that. It is a business resource group that supports working parents and caregivers. As it is a business resource group, we support our colleagues, our customers, and our communities. And so we launched in April of 2023, and we have almost 1,000 members since we launched. So there's definitely been a need, and every month we have more and more members that are joining as they become aware of us and the work that we're doing. And when we think about parents and caregivers in the workplace, I'm not going to read off this entire slide, but there's just natural intersectionality with other business resource groups, right? So you think about working parents. We also think about how LGBTQ people have become caregivers at a higher rate than non-LGBTQ. You think about some people have ERGs or BRGs that are focused on women or veterans. Parents and caregivers are just a natural part of these other groups, right? And so one of the goals that we had from the get-go with this new business resource group was really celebrating the intersectionality with all of Citizens business resource groups so that we could integrate, have our own programming, but also really lean in through meaningful intersectionality programming with all of the different business resource groups. And at Citizens specifically, so we have 7 business resource groups, of which Citizens is, no pun intended, the baby. We're the newest ones. Citizens has this strong commitment to fostering an inclusive workplace that empowers all of our colleagues. And it really is just a part of what we do at the core. We believe that as an organization, we all have diverse views and people from a wide range of experiences, perspectives, and backgrounds. So celebrating that through intersectionality is paramount, right? So I want to talk a little bit about some of the different programs that we did to celebrate this intersectionality. And the first one I want to talk about is this really great program that we did in collaboration with our Veterans Business Resource Group. This is a volunteer opportunity that we did with Habitat for Humanity. And so what we did is they came on site and we actually built these beautiful playhouse. We built a playhouse that day. And the playhouse at the end of the day, both our Caring for Citizens volunteers as well as the veterans ERG volunteers. We worked together literally to build this little cute house from the studs up. And then at the end of the day, a local veteran family came on site and we gave them this beautiful playhouse so that the children who, if their father is deployed or whatever the case will be, they have this home to be able to celebrate together and share these memories. So it was just a really great way to celebrate that intersectionality between veterans and working parents and caregivers. Another example of an intersectionality program that we did was last year. We did this amazing author fireside chat. This was around the time of the Transgender Day of Visibility. And so what we did was we had an author come and speak. This was a collaboration with our Citizens Pride, which is LGBTQ+. And we had a mother who had a son who was transgendered and identified so as at a very young age. And this story was actually, the book is written from her perspective. So what it felt like as a parent, how to support your child who may identify as transgender, and what her journey was from that parent perspective, which was a little bit different than a lot of the books that I read. A lot of them tend to focus on the journey of the individual. This one was from a parent perspective. It was, again, a great collaboration between both of our business resource groups. And it just gave people an opportunity to really hear from a parent what that journey was like and be able to share in that journey. And in some cases, our colleagues who are maybe going through and sharing a similar journey were able to feel seen, heard, and valued, and others were able to gain insight through empathy and understanding. The last program I just want to highlight is one that we did this year, and this was collaboration with our PRISM ERG, which is multicultural faced. And this one was it was a combination of, we had a speaker, but we also had an open forum for our colleagues who are caring for our aging loved ones and what that journey might look like from different cultural aspects. So how does caring for aging loved ones look a little different if you maybe have an Asian background or if you have a Black background? What is that? How are those expectations on you as a parent or a caregiver? How might they be different? For example, if you are a Latinx caregiver, you might be struggling to try to find a senior living care facility that has caregivers that are bilingual. And so our colleagues were not only just learning from our speaker about the overall culture of caregiving, but they also had this opportunity to connect with one another and say, these are some of my challenges. This is something that I'm experiencing as part of my culture. This is something that is unique to me. And again, gave an opportunity for our colleagues to grow through new perspectives, but also be able to share in some of their journeys and be able to support one another through this experience of caring. So that's it for me. I would love to stay in touch. Feel free to contact me, connect with me on LinkedIn, or you can email me at any point. And that's it for me.